then as we turn the page, I think it's important to know that Jay Kidd and I, we've had a vision in the culture that we want to create since we've been here. And the players that we're bringing in, we believe exemplify that. And, we think defense wins championships. And we're bringing in one of the best two-way players in the league.
It's always these trades that happen when I have a million things happening over the weekend and just an insanely busy week where I'm not even able to get out videos. And this was actually going to be one of those weeks where I just focus on some of the other work that I do off pod, which is try to help with breakdowns and things like that. And just also was trying to take just a weekend off and do some things, spend some time with people and things like that. And then I wake up to just a bunch of texts, DMs, tags, and it's Luka getting traded to the Lakers. And I feel so bad for the Mavs fans that have they have to be just shocked. Like, this is, on one hand, it looks like a horrendous trade for the Mavs. Now, for the Lakers, obviously this is a dub, right? Massive win. You secure the future with Luka. Somehow, some way, you have LeBron, and he's on his way out. The Lakers don't look good, and Anthony Davis is having a great season. And I'm sure that happened to help this trade even go through. The way that AD's been playing and how available he's been in recent, the last couple of seasons, it had to have helped move the needle to get this trade done. For the Mavs, I feel like focusing on the Luka thing obviously is going to make a lot of people overlook what it did for the Mavs this season. I don't know what it's going to be for the Mavs in the seasons to come, but as far as right now, I would be shocked if they moved LeBron as well, like to kind of start moving along and trying to get what you can to start building around Luka. I think they're just going to let it play out with LeBron, and I just don't see them, unless, Rob Pelinka and the rest of the Lakers front office is like, look, like we have to start moving. Luka's got a player option after this season, I believe, and, if he picks that up, obviously he's got another year after that. Obviously, the Lakers don't pull this trigger unless they know that they're going to keep Luka in the books, right, for the future. Now, if you're the Lakers, you just took on LeBron light, right? You got a guy that does the things that LeBron does, minus on the defensive end, in terms of the triple-double, the playmaking, the scoring, the ability to just get you something on offense at all times. The ball is in his hands, you feel good. Right? And, people are going to talk about the lack of defense, the complaining. All of that is fair criticism of Luka. But if you're the Lakers, you make this move, and Jesus, they keep Luka, and they have LeBron to kind of, help advance just the mental aspect of the game, right? How to take care of your body. That's going to go a long way. I think the Mavs they just ignited. They just started like a motivated Luka with this trade, because you're hearing that he was pushing 270 pounds. They were tired of, his lack of ability to stay in shape. They're concerned about, the injury stuff, even though, he's been available pretty much for, most of his career. But obviously the complaint has been staying in shape. But this guy's 25 years old, and he's arguably the second best player in the league. You could go as far as third best player in the league. And look, some people have him as the best player in the league. So you have a top three guy, consensus top three guy. And this is a guy that isn't even in his prime yet. When you think about, the typical age when a player starts hitting their prime, it's usually like 27, 28 years old. And Luka's like 26 or 25 years old. So just building around a guy like this is incredibly easy because he makes everyone's job just so much easier. This is a guy that can carry teams on his back, no problem. And I think if he's going to be motivated, if he's got a fire under his ass, like what we're seeing right now with why they traded him, I think that the Mavs trading him to the Lakers was a mistake because, I don't know if you have to think there was a better deal out there, but on the other hand, if there was, they would have just made it. So it's very strange that they did that. Now, they get Anthony Davis, who has been having an awesome year, like I said earlier, and he's going to help them because obviously he's just going to add more front court depth to these guys. Obviously, they just lost Derek Lively. He's going to be out for a couple of months. Who knows if he's going to, return. Those injuries with the foot with big men is just always a complicated thing. But, you get Anthony Davis, right? So you had that dominant front court duo thing where they interchange Gafford and Lively. Now, for the time being, you're going to have a superstar front court player in Anthony Davis who is better than Gafford. He's better than Lively. He does the things Gafford does. He does the things Lively does. And he's going to be surrounded by a more complete team. He's got Kyrie next to him, right? He's got the shooting around him. He's got, some good defenders around him as well. It's a really good place for Anthony Davis to be, if you really want to look at it from that perspective. Now, if you're a Mavs fan, you're triggered and you can't believe that this happened. But, on the Lakers side of things, I can't believe that they pulled this off. Everyone hates the Lakers. And the fact that the Mavs would trade Luka to them, it's unbelievable. It still doesn't feel real. A lot of people felt like this was some kind of prank or someone got hacked, but this is insane, And now when you think of what's about to happen, the passing of the torch, when things looked really dark for the Lakers and the Laker fans, where it's like, okay, we lose LeBron, what are we getting? And it's just another guy added to the list of all-time great players that the Lakers are able to just snatch up. This is a franchise that they don't care about draft picks. They don't care about developing guys. They don't care about the long-term building. This is what the Lakers do. They go for the superstars. They trade for them. They try to sign them in the offseason. And what this is going to do for their ability to look like a team that guys want to go to, because there's a pressure in LA, obviously. That's a deterrent for a lot of players these days. They don't want to have that spotlight under them. But who doesn't want to play with Luka? And now you're adding to that equation, who doesn't want to play with Luka in LA? This was going to be a short pod. I've had a bunch of things organized for this weekend and obviously throughout last week. So not able to get into a lot of the details. I just wanted to come out with a kind of just my thoughts in the beginning of this, at the very early stages of these reactions to the trade. As time passes, we're going to get more info. I think the Mavs knew that Luka was going to walk, potentially not picking up his player option. I think there's a lot of that going on because if they're worried about conditioning, he's 25 years old. They could wait a little longer to figure that out, especially if it's true that Luka wasn't requesting a trade, because that's the whole part of it that doesn't make sense if you're a Mavs fan. Doesn't make sense if you're any fan, really, because you're thinking, okay, well, he's not requesting a trade. Why would you get rid of this guy? You have a few years to figure this out, especially if he's committed to the franchise. But I think behind the scenes, Luka knew, or the Mavs knew, that Luka was going to walk if this wasn't going to be, a place that he felt like could contend. Now, if you want to be, if you want to criticize that part of it on the Luka side of things and say, hey, well, you're the one that's not showing up in shape, right? You're the one that's kind of holding this thing up, right? Some Mavs fans are saying that the Mavs play better without Luka. That's a whole other topic. But to summarize this whole thing, the Lakers just secured the future. And the Mavs just secured their, win now window by adding Anthony Davis, a guy that's, been more available than Luka this season. And obviously someone that's been in shape. That's never been a question. It's really just the injury stuff with Anthony Davis. But you have to think that obviously everyone knows that the Lakers won the trade because let's say the Mavs are great this season, AD is on the older side. Compared to a guy that hasn't even hit his prime. And he is just always all-NBA first team, lock for all-star, just arguably top 3 player. And the Lakers are able to get this guy. It's just, and I'm getting calls as well throughout this time. But yes, I will have more videos to come next week. I'll try to be a little more productive with the videos. I want to do some more breakdowns because it's just been a hectic time. over the last week, like I said. And of course, this happens to be the weekend that Luka gets traded.